In the bottom right side, Red Terran player from Team Envy. Can he manage one more time? He is a bunny. Being able to beat Dark in a 2-0 fashion today. And of course, previously being able to go through Armani in a 2-0 fashion as well. And beating out Zest in a 2-1 fashion. So he's been in on an absolute roll in this tournament so far. Just needs one more best of 3 victory to get himself in the playoffs. But same can be said for the Zerg right here in the blue. From ITaX, he is RAGNAROK. RAGNAROK, of course, also 2-0ing Dark right now. And being able to, well, not go out first in... Well, I mean, not move on through as first place in his previous group. He did, however, manage to 2-1 Innovation, not 2-0, 2-1, and afterwards beat Solar as well in a 2-1 faction also. So, you know what, not too bad at all. Bunny here versus RAGNAROK. I think this one is going to be very close, right, as well. I think, yeah, Bunny probably has a little bit of an upper hand. I really do like how Bunny has been playing recently. I think he's been able to get some great success overall. Some great advancements in his skill has been made. But RAGNAROK, a similar case overall. Not somebody that I would put too far behind on Bunny on the skill here. And it is just the best of 3, guys. I mean, if you mess up one game, right, you leave your supply depot open, you did not see an attack coming in at a certain time, you accidentally get Baneling dropped, and you didn't move your SCVs in time as either. Like, simple stuff like this can decide the outcome here very, very heavily, because it's not a best of 5, it's not a best of 7 or a best of 9, for that matter. It is just a best of 3. You lose one game, and suddenly you're on your last legs. You only lose one more game and you're out. That's all she wrote. It's actually quite a couple of circlings here. RAGNAROK going up to 6 of them in total. Regardless who wins, either Bunny or RAGNAROK, they both have had quite the amazing run and deserve fully to be there in that playoff round, regardless of who gets it right here. Gonna check if there's an Overlord. No Overlords hiding here. Isn't the best of 69 either. That's right. None of that happening right here. What is happening here is Overlord Speed coming in, and Bunny's just doing some regular stuff, nothing too particular. Just gonna get himself a Liberator and the Hellions overall. So he's not playing that safe style that we saw the previous time from him quite a lot, right? With the Hellions into the Banshees, how we managed to get Dark to crumble a couple of times. Against Rogue, we saw him also aiming on a bit of the aggression side of things, right? The Hellbat Marauder timing. I don't think he's going to be able to get a lot done here. That's some beautiful surrounding, actually, from RAGNAROK. That's definitely worth mentioning. Hold the phone. Yeah, those he's not going to get anything done here. Well, actually, the Queen's not here now. There's no creeps right in between. Maybe some more drones? No. That's it. No. Yeah, that's not going to get anything. Good bit of well, stopping the mining here, so... Getting a nice little spike there into the red. Liberator comes in next. Queen already in a good position now to hold this off. Not the greatest Liberator siege position, but... Again, denying some of that mining, right? That's the consolation prize here for Bunny, I would say. Imagine a reverse sweep 34-0 to 34-35. That would be nuts. Imagine casting that and being like, alright, well, we're almost done. We're almost out here. And then it's like, I guess we were just halfway. Guess there's still a lot more. Alright, so, you know what, trading out somewhat equally, but probably Bunny wanting to do a bit of economic damage there, which he did not manage to achieve. Did not manage to achieve much there. So, I would say that Ragnarok here, perhaps in a bit of a better position overall. Just slightly though, right? It's nothing too significant. We still have the 3 bases full. Bunny here, he would like to get that sorted out towards that sort of base location. It's going to start up his wall right now as well. And let's see, does he have engineering base? He does. Starports. Alright, yeah, I mean, it's an okay position. It's an okay position still. It's just the work account. That kind of troubles me. Makes me a bit wary here for Bunny. Just slightly, though. It is a very small margin as I keep being the broken records here. Enter in the next stage of the game. Still more harassment going on from Bunny with that same Liberator. Never went down, so this is still the same one that he had earlier on. Impressive stuff. Is going to let it go down this time around, though. Perhaps trying to catch an opportunity with this siege tank and the Marines here. Not going to be able to get too much done, though, it looks like. Zerglings aplenty to shut that down. A little bit of a donation here. Thanksgiving dinner for those Zerglings right there, I suppose. Just chewing on that metal. Should address that siege tank up as like a giant turkey and then present it to the Zerglings. Alright, so anyway, upgrades here. 1-1 already done for Bunny. Doesn't... Oh, he does have an armory as well. Yeah, there they are. Okay, I was wondering. +2/+2 is on the way now as well. +1/+1 for Ragnarok is about to finish up. No reason to take this fight just quite yet. The siege tank will have to push a little bit further forward to really be a threat here. The Marines, of course, though, they are the real the troublemakers for the time being. Ragnarok has a bit of time to get some sort of... Ooh, this is nice. A little bit of a counter-attack. As he is still grouping up more stuff overall, bulking up his units. Checking to see for Widow Mines. Good call indeed. It's a quick way to lose the game, of course. Running in all your banelings at once is a big cluster. And then getting shot by a Widow Mine. Let's see what happens here. More Hydralisks on the way as well. That surround should be pretty darn impressive. Yeah, nothing else to be achieved there for Bunny anymore. Has to, once again, move away. Presenting another one of those darn turkeys. Rogue vs. Cure should be pretty good, yeah. It should be, it really should be. I think, honestly, I think... Well, Bunny may have a pretty solid chance against Trap as well. It's gonna be, oh my dear lord. Just as to say it, right? He's a pretty good shot at taking out, like, the best Protoss in the world, and then he just waltzes his Marines into those banelings. It's like, roll back to take, guys. Don't do it. But Ragnarok, I don't know, it still feels sometimes to me Ragnarok is one of these players that it has been getting better and better. But there's, I don't know, there's just something missing still for those late games, right? It just seems like he still struggles in the later parts of games against the best of the best. Banelings here, managed to get on through. The Widowmine wasn't burrowed. Still managing to catch some of those Marines. Getting the armory out as well. Pretty darn good, right? Has to be remade. +3/+3. It's gonna be delayed a little bit, and that allows Ragnarok to try and catch up with his own upgrades. So that's a pretty big deal right here. Getting him a bit of a overall boon to his fortune. Attack coming in for Bunny though on the right side. Still quite a scary push here as well. The Widowmines, ooh, that could be a big one. That is going to be a big one. No banelings available there. And again, another run by here with these banelings and the zerglings. Absolutely relentless. Ragnarok, no mercy. For those SCVs right here. Continuously trying to just get on top of that mineral line. Being able to push back Bunny for now. Needs to gap this creep spread out again. Lost a couple of tumors here. Cannot afford to lose many more. Incredibly important to keep that creep spread as healthy as possible. Since he is playing... Oh dear, that was not the greatest split. Anyway, because it is just a Ling Bane Hydra style, right? Creep spread, the most crucial here for this composition. Needs to have it, otherwise, you know what, pretty much every single fight he takes is gonna be just at a deficit already. And even with just this slight lack of creep spread right here, makes it rather difficult, especially with a big chunk of dead space in between these two pathways. Things are looking a bit difficult for Ragnarok to engage into. Bunny putting up quite a good fight here, already ahead with about 40 supply. Did Ragnarok overextend too many times with his counterattacks here onto the mineral fields? Let's see, the Baneling still being able to clean up some of the front line, but that's just not enough. The siege tanks still stand, and only Hydralisk now remain to try and take on some Marines, Marauders, that are about 3 times in their overall supply. GG. Alright. So yeah, Bunny being able to just maintain his own economy. Continuously being able to beat back those Banelings that kept trying to take out that third base mineral line. And yeah, it felt like Ragnarok just kind of fell behind. Overall, just didn't... He ran out of steam. And Bunny making good use of that, pushing across. Couple of good Widow Mines here and there as well. Getting him further and further ahead in the economy. Well, the economy perhaps. Yeah, as well, I suppose, because he just kept producing and Ragnarok just more and more banking on trying to shut it down. Yeah. Too many counterattacks on the low drone counts. Yeah, I think that was the majority right there, right? He just didn't get to the economy first before he really started doubling down on those run-bys with the Banelings and the Zerglings. Sure, you can do it once, try it. If it doesn't work then, you know, you're probably still okay, you're probably still fine. Doing it again and it not working, you know what, you're starting to get in a bit of trouble. Third time, and was there even a fourth time there? I'm not entirely sure, but that's when things start to get really dicey. And, yeah, Bunny being able to just kind of waltz over him there in the end. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I guess go to game number 2. That's what we'll do. You know, I think that's the best shot here for a victory, potentially for Ragnarok. Let's see. 1 point on the board. It's the red Terran player fighting for Team NV. He is Bunny. Top left side, Blue Zerg fighting for Alpha X. He is Ragnarok. Okay, let's see. Gas first here for Bunny. Bit of a deviation here overall. Wants to tack up as quickly as possible. Ragnarok not doing anything too cheeky here. Just gonna go for the regular macro game opening so far at least. Gonna make a extractor and a spawning pool with these ones. Most likely. There we go. Alright, now Bunny, what's your plan over here, buddy? What is he gonna be doing? Still gonna go for a second base relatively early on. And he only has the one gas here, of course. There we go. Looks like it is just the standard stuff overall factory with a reactor coming down as soon as possible here. Alright, alright. Nothing peculiar. Nothing to see here. Move along, please. Move along. Oh, don't move along, please, actually. You should stay here. It's almost Thanksgiving, after all. Animals versus tanks. Who do you think will win? I mean, it depends on what kind of animals, what kind of tank. And then the quantity of how many animals and how many tanks, right? And then how committed are the animals, actually? Like, are the animals like a hive mind kind of thing? Because then you could say that maybe if you have like a sheep or something like that, just kind of sticking his head in like the cannon of the tank, you know, that could become a problem for this tank as well, right? That could shut down a tank rather quickly. And it depends as well. Are they in a jungle or are they in the open somewhere, or flat fields? So that should be giving a tank quite an advantage as well. It's an interesting subject to think about, right? Tanks versus animals, sure. Imagine if that was an ability of a Zergling, like crawl into the cannon of a siege tank. If they explode close to the tank, the tank will lose vision. Exactly, all the blood on the windshields. That's gonna be a problem. Alright, third base here for Bunny. Still doing the good old macro game. Liberator on the right side. With the Hellion still poking in and out, trying to find those creep to miss in production. So far, not finding too much for the Overlord Bunny right here. Spire already on the way. That is bit of a boon here for Ragnarok, I suppose. Just needs to be wary of that Liberator. Already has a Spore there. It's wonderful. Look at that. Great reaction so far. Does not look like he'll be taking any damage. Or any severe damage, at least. Maybe a couple of drones? No, actually, just a shot on the Queen right there. That's it. So, yeah, it's about as solid as you can get with a defense against the Liberator here, I would say. No damage being taken. Already a Queen on the third base as well. And yeah, that's it. That's the Liberator gone. Not doing anything whatsoever. It's up to the Hellions now to try and make something work. Looking for drones. Drones are, well, a couple of them at this third base. Not too many, though. Only 3 of them will be found. As Ragnarok will be macroing up again here with more drones on the way. He's going to get himself the first initial Mutalisk as well. That may make things difficult for Bunny there. A trader SCV trying to sleep on the job in between the engineering base there, trying to hide. Hopefully Bunny wouldn't see. Merciless leader. Bunny kills his own SCV. Anyway. So, yeah, as I was saying, overall, right, the Hellion's not doing any damage, the Liberator not doing any damage. Now we have the third base being taken for Bunny, and with those Mutalisk coming across the field, this could become a bit troublesome. There's no missile turrets whatsoever, just quite yet. We do have Stim Pack, but, I mean, those Marines can only stim so many times, and they can only be at one place at the same time as well, of course. So far, doing a really good job at zoning away these Mutalisk, though, of course. flying into the main base here. There is some Marines with one single missile turret there as well. Good use of the medevacs. Yeah, so far, Bunny really stellar defense against these Mutalisk. Very impressive so far. See if he gets some more stuff going here. No, not really. Not really. I mean, very impressed with Bunny's overall zoning of these Mutalisk. They have literally not done anything at all that's worth their time. But, well, I suppose they are keeping Bunny on his own 3 bases here. Bunny does finally decide to pull the trigger and just kind of leave, which immediately opens up the doorway for these Mutalisks to start getting damage done. Do get rid of that supply depot there, so Zerglings and Banelings may be having an easier time to get on top of the production or the mineral line as well, of course. Siege tanks in a pretty darn good position. The creep is going to take a while to recede, though. Still a creep tumor on the top side, so a surround should be quite possible here. Not too difficult to execute. Gotta be careful. The helmets actually being able to do a lot of damage before anything else really happens here for Ragnarok. Oh, the Baneling's getting all right connections with a spread like that. That was already available. The Marines need to gather up a little bit because those Mutalisks still a force to be reckoned with as well, of course. And Ragnarok does clean this up for now. Let's take a look at how that's all traded here. Well, that does look like it's favorable for Bunny overall. The work account's also looking pretty darn good for him. Has a 4th base on the way. I think Bunny's doing it once again here. Alright, these little bits of counterattacking Mutalisk, of course, very, very crucial to still make something work here for Ragnarok. After all, he needs to win 2 games in a row. Cannot afford to take many more hits here. They get up to 80 drones, though. That is a good thing. Wants to get himself another base, perhaps, as well. Oh, careful. Oh, more Widow Mines there. Someone please explain why Zerg morphed their Banelings outside of their base. Only get they found and shut down. Well, I mean, mostly it's just to try and get your Banelings as quickly as possible. I think you don't have the time to really run back around. And then you have your Banelings in a better position as well to take the fight. They are quite tanky, the Banelings bombs overall. And if you don't defend those bases anyway, then it's not a real necessity to get the Banelings in the first place anyway anymore, right? Because that's their job to protect those bases. I think those are about the things. They do still try to make them always as close to their bases as possible, of course, but I mean the main thing is that you need to defend that base, and that's why you're getting them. Careful there with the Thor. I am a Zerg and a Terran player. I don't play that much, so never really got. Well, I'm a fairly high diamond, but that's about it. That's about it. On the left side, we got a attack coming in here. Counter attack coming in for Ragnarok as well, though, on both these locations. On the right side, that base is also not going to see the light of day for very long, as the Marines and the Marauders will be pushing forwards once again on this little slither of creepless area over there. Looks like this attack will be taken care of rather quickly. The Banelings and the Zerglings wisely engage the targets that they need to on the left side. That base is not allowed to fall here for RAGNAROK. Cannot afford to lose this. Okay, the Baneling connection's pretty darn on point. But more things are happening. Again, Bunny, you know what? He may actually be a little bit too aggressive here. He did lose a base at home as well. That 4th base of his did get taken out. RAGNAROK suddenly looking pretty darn good. On the supply counts here. Being able to pick up another medevac right there on the right side. Not GM like us. I mean, only in the only in Twitch chat. That's when I transform myself. I become the beautiful Twitch GM that I am. Oh dear lord! Oh, those circling hits. Oh man, that's just definitely something RAGNAROK needs to look into. Being able to split some of his circlings away to mitigate the Widowmine damage that's being taken, because you can see he's taking the correct steps, but then it just kind of falls apart as soon as he tries to run only a couple of the Zerglings out. Yeah, more things going down here. I think Bunny has ran his course. He had a pretty good start, but it wasn't enough. Did fall a little bit short there to finish off his opponent. And RAGNAROK takes game number 2 with a nice bit of Mutalisk harassment. It took him a while to really get the Mutalisk harassment to, you know, get actual harassment done. But he never sacrificed them unnecessarily, right? He was still being very careful. Bunny there, it kind of fell apart quickly for him. Going for that counterattack. I mean, I suppose the real value for those Mutalisk was, in fact, that RAGNAROK was allowed to drone up quite heavily behind there, and he kept Bunny as well off of a 4th base. I think those things on their own were pretty influential in that situation, because it does appear like overall, when you look at the income graph and such, that definitely quite a bit of a spike there for RAGNAROK during that time frame. And he never kind of let go of that overall advantage that he found himself with. So, yeah, well played there by RAGNAROK. Bunny, even though he did manage to keep himself from taking any SCV losses because of those Mutalisk, he still got himself in a little bit of trouble there. It still became quite difficult for him. All right. Stretchy. All right, guys, we're going to go into the final game for today. Whoever wins this one will be able to qualify for the playoffs right here. And set up in between the other magnificent players, such as, of course, Trap, Cure, and Rogue. Who's going to take that final place? Who's going to be joining us in the final day of the Pro Circuit? We're going to find out right here, right now. There's no running back unless if we have a tied up game here. Somehow, some way, this will be the final one for today. All the marbles coming in right now. In the top left side, we got a red Terran player fighting for Team NV. He is Bunny. Having some wonderful series so far in this entire tournament. And of course, as well, the Blue Zerg from ITaX. He's on his own, well, his home turf, I suppose, right? In the ITaX tournaments. Well, into the ITaX, I should say. But it's always nice to see one of the ITaXs do well in these types of tournaments. He is RAGNAROK. So far, definitely giving us quite a show. Quite a bit of overall. Just great players. He did manage to take out. And there's just one more game. One more game that he needs to win. And the same goes for the little Terran player here, of course. Bunny. It all comes down to this. RAGNAROK, he is a bit of a cheesy player, and this map, Lightshade, we have seen it plenty of times where the Zerg really do enjoy themselves a bit of a roach attack on that third base location. It is so widely accessible for ground forces. It's probably one of the biggest concaves potentially set up right here on this area right where we're looking at. Could happen here again. I wouldn't put it past RAGNAROK. And again, Bunny. We've already seen him go for the Hellion Banshee style. I think that would be a wise choice just because of that in this match as well. Let's see what he goes for. Factory on the way. Should be able to get that reactor up and running as quickly as he wants to. Single Marine still coming out, trying to ensure that there's no overlords just freely setting up shop over on top of all of his production. RAGNAROK so far, it looks like he's been rather protective of his overlords. Like a lot of Zergs, they don't really jump that far forwards anymore with their overlords, right? It's become a bit more wary overall. And I wonder if that is because of maps like Juggernaut, right? Where Zergs were not allowed to have their overlords just right here or right here. Being able to see absolutely everything at the front door of their opponents. And then having to figure out different ways around that problem. And then finding out, you know what, actually it's not that bad to have my overlords over here. Kind of feels like, you know, one of those old aha moments that a lot of people sometimes had when watching something like the Fun Day Monday or something, right? Maybe not the pro players, but overall. Sometimes when rules get applied to you, more rules are just overall enforced upon you. That's when your creativity can shine, and you know, that's when people discover new things. That's when you have to come up with different ways around an issue. And that allows you to come up with new mechanics, new ways to approach a situation, and perhaps come up with new solutions to old problems that, well, thought to be fixed, and it turns out that you can fix them in a whole different way. Maybe that's going to work better because, you know what, players are anticipating something entirely different as well. The cool thing about StarCraft 2 overall, I would say, that we still see new things popping up continuously. Things that were so established and felt so just, well, this is what you do. We know that this is exactly how you do it. And still people just kind of doing something else. Even if it is something as simple as putting your overlord further behind on a different place in the map. Alright, third base for Bunny is floating over right now. We haven't seen a Roach Warren or anything of the sorts yet in that production tab. Second Evo chamber is on the way here. No Baneling nests yet either as well, but more drones are on the production. A couple of Hellions here, finding one drone so far. Getting on top of those queens rather nicely. And melee attack coming out here. Already felt quite unlikely to have any roach attack coming up here, but still. Oh, the drones. 4 of them. So 5 in total so far. It's okay, it's okay, it's alright. I just don't want Bunny to lose his Hellions too quickly here, of course. Still very important to keep them around for clearing up the initial creep spread. Moving back rather far with this Hellions right now. He's going to try to repair all his units. It looks like he will, as his plan indeed. Alright. So we do have both of these players starting to ramp up their technology tree as well, fulfilling all they can find. Layer attack on the way here. Burrow as well being researched by RAGNAROK. I mean, we saw Rogue also doing a little bit with the Burrow play there, the previous match between him and Bunny. Didn't manage to fully win the game, but still some nice stuff overall, of course. Good surround there. The Hellions do get fully cleaned up. Bit of a shame they did just get repaired, just back from the shop and immediately getting gummed, well, eaten alive as well. Makes you wonder if is it worth trying to get the repair on these types of units, you know? The early game units. Would you rather just kind of try and stay on top of the creep spread, try and just deny more of that, so that an attack like this is going to be a little bit more powerful. This is a massive counter-attack here, actually, from Ragnarok. Nice hold position there on the SCVs. Siege tank is coming in clutch as well. We'll shut this down for now. Only 4 SCVs go down. I thought he may have been able to get a bit more damage done. Didn't feel too bad for him, really, but gonna play it safe rather than careless and reckless. Careful of the Widow Mine here. Ooh, again, I mean, that is definitely one of the weaknesses we're spotting here from Ragnarok, right? Just taking a lot of damage from Widow Mines. Thank you for the bits, by the way, Lizard Teats. Much appreciated, buddy. Alright, Ragnarok going up to the infestation pit. Starting up his +2/+2, as well is Bunny there. Getting his, well, a little bit behind overall. Snooklings there on the low side of things. Against, well, a bunch of Marines there. A couple of Widow Mines as well. Who doesn't lose a lot against Widow Mines? I mean, that is a fair assessment. I think it was, well, DRG is pretty good against it. This Lingbane micro is nuts, though. Oh, that's no cancel right there. It's more than a bit of damage. That is quite a bit of damage, actually. Wouldn't mind. Oh, there we go. That was a good, good little split. Medevac is dropping in the main base. Aren't unloading all of their Marines, but I think he knows he'll have to pack his bags up and run pretty soon anyway. That's where he goes to. More Medevacs here. Getting spotted by the Ling, and then afterwards also the Overlord. No response just quite yet for Ragnarok. Oh no, yes, there he is. Will be coming in here, but the main base now all of a sudden again exposed. Bunny. He is not letting the Ragnarok rest for a moment here. Cancel on that. Was that the... I think that may have been the Lurker Den. Yeah, that's a cancel on the Lurker Den, so... It's a big deal indeed. Usually supposed to end up around the same time being done as the ITaX, so that's a major catch right there for Bunny. Being able to shut that down. We'll finally be able to catch up again with the upgrades here slightly. Ragnarok with his ITaX done though should not be able to... well, shouldn't drop behind upgrades anytime soon. Unless if he only has 2 Evo Chambers. He does actually. Alright, so he's getting the ranged attack for the Hydralisk and the Lurkers here. First and foremost. Can't really blame him for that. Very important upgrade to get as well here with the army composition that he is going for. Bunny looking for that further damage on the top right side. 3 Medevacs. A little bit of a standstill there. Will be coming in later again. So we have another attack on the bottom left side. This is what Bunny has been doing very, very well consistently in all the TVCs that we've been seeing. Coming in from 2 angles, as far removed from one another as possible in order to get this Zerg army to just move back and forth between all these locations. And have quite a struggle. There's those 3 Medevacs right now coming into this 4th base. And Widow Mines retargeting a little bit. Ragnarok is keeping afloat. We'll be able to deal with this rather nicely. Marines, I'm not sure if you want to take that fight, boys. That is going to be a rough one. Quite the rough one indeed. Is that Gerald? What's up, Gerald? How you doing, buddy? We're going to see Gerald as well in the tournaments coming up not too far in the future. That will be on my Trovo channel. Different streaming thingamajig. But anyway, let's see what we have got going on here. Another bit of attempt. Those Marines. Not sure where they were going. Maybe that was just an F2 maneuver, actually. Kind of looked like it, didn't it? Mainly the focus right now for Bunny on this 6 o'clock base. Wants to get rid of that one. The top side, there's another base being taken. Wouldn't be surprised if we see another force coming out on that side here. The Marines being spread out as much as possible by the medevacs. Getting close to those lurkers. But losing a lot of men at the same time, of course. 2 more lurkers to remain. Gotta be careful. Lurkers, yeah. Still pack quite a punch. Even against those marauders. Trying to dodge the fire of those lurkers right now. There is the engagement. Beautiful blinding cloud there on the top side, on the bottom as well. Also coming in rather clutch. In the bottom side, yeah, and the top side as well, actually. It seems that Bunny in a bit of trouble here. Will be taking a loss for now, but again, more reinforcements already coming in as well. The rest of the reinforcements getting jumped onto by those Zerglings. 2 siege tanks being found. That's a wonderful trade. Zerglings for a siege tank? Yes, sir. Please give me that every single day as a Zerg player. A bit of a bummer there for Bunny, of course, but this is what he has to work with right now. And the roles have been reversed a slight bit. In this moment, Ragnarok, the player, that is coming in from 2 different angles and finding quite a bit of damage, forcing Bunny to move back and forth. Yeah, Björn got eliminated actually from the first, the first group stage. So I think he went up against Dark, and he went up against who was the other player in that group? DRG. Yeah, DRG was the other player, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Bunny and Ragnarok still going at it here. Once again, Bunny gonna open up the lines on the top and the bottom side. Wants to keep the pressure going. Ragnarok does seem to struggle a little bit here. I mean, those lurkers on the bottom, they definitely do seem quite strong, but you can circumvent their engagements right here rather quickly with a couple of medevacs hitting up another base. It's no problem whatsoever. There we go, jumping on through. Do we have any type of real Mutalisk or Corruptor presence? No, we do not, and that makes things rather difficult, but generally we do have a very watchful eye with the Vipers and the Hydras. We'll be able to pick both of, well, actually all 3 of those medevacs up. Solid stuff. That's gonna have to make you rethink dropping in those locations, actually. Yes, Bunny coming in here now on the top side. We'll be able to get rid of those lurkers. Doing an alright trade over here. This is just going back and forth. I need to check out the units lost tab, actually, in fact. Heads looking pretty good for Bunny, actually. It's not. No, actually, I'm sorry, for Ragnarok. I mean, seeing how he is this far ahead in the income advantage as well, this is quite the difficult time for Bunny, but he has his Ghost now. He has a solid amount of siege tanks and liberators here, ready to try and deal with the lurkers. Lurkers are, though, on the bottom side of things. We'll be able to take that out. This base will fall, but Ragnarok already on the case is going to grab the bases on the bottom. Start more aggression right here as well. Bio forces are coming in. Let's see if they are in plenty to actually take care of all these lurkers. It looks like that is exactly the case. Well, many of them still standing. 2 of them, in fact. Well, just 1 of them in a little bit. Let's get cleaned up. Vipers are doing their job, blinding most of the Terran army here. They're gonna have to pick up into those medevacs. Unfortunately, 2 of the medevacs that are lowest on HP are being utilized for this daring escape right now. The Liberators are taken care of as well. So, Bunny did get rid of those bases on the top side, but at the same time, he lost the base on the bottom side as well. So, if he manages to keep Ragnarok now down this base and this base on the top side as well, I'm gonna very much like the odds here for Bunny, but it's still a difficult thing to do. That is for sure. This Widowmine right here, 13 kills actually on that bad boy. Okay, Ragnarok trying to set off the Widowmine right there, trying to find it, but unfortunately for him, wasn't quite ready yet, and reinforcements did arrive. Bunny looking for a bit of payback there for that planetary fortress that went down. It's up to him again to try and make the damage happen. Wants to take the bottom left side bases also, I would say. Wouldn't be a bad choice, because now as soon as one of these bases gets denied with a single lurker, that is just horrendous, right? That is just abysmal for Bunny, because that is quite a bit of his income right here. He doesn't have that much to begin with, and I mean, as soon as that kind of drops down, that is just most of his income just gone, with all these other bases almost mined out. Oh dear. Great Ling run by, pulling away all these Terran units, leaving nothing but 4 siege tanks and a Widowmine now at the front line. Ragnarok not quite being aware of this though, will not take the initiative there. Only getting 4 SCVs, that's a good call. Are those Banelings? Oh, they're Zerglings, alright, they're just all Zerglings spreading out, trying to be sneaky little boys. Okay, the siege tank line did not get jumped onto by Ragnarok during all of this. So still a nice setup here for Bunny. Still a good advantage point for him to try and get things rolling. That's the Ghost sniping away. Terrans have been getting better and better at sniping the lurkers here with those Ghosts. Micro has been improving quite a bit, but oh, that's a ton of Banelings coming into this planetary fortress right now. No chance in hell that stays alive. At the same time, Bunny will find the damage as well, shutting down 2 bases here, but not that much mining going on. Well, there's some reasonable fair bit of mining here in the bottom side. This base though, if that gets shut down, less of a problem. Except for that, it is kind of helping out the... Wait, do we have nukes? We don't have nukes. Oh, he's looking for the EMP. The snipe? Oh, the snipe. There we go. There's no overseers here. Oh, he's going to have to make overseers. Are you kidding me? Is he actually going to be able to get 2 Vipers here for this Ghost? That would be nuts. That would be quite nuts. Anyway, other stuff is happening as well. Base getting disrupted. And more Zerglings here still lurking about. Not sure if they're ever going to get out of their holes in the ground anymore. Have a grim outlook on the what may happen here with the Zerg race on this planet. As Bunny is still pushing on forwards here. Gonna get himself deeper and deeper into Zerg territory and closer to all the very, very juicy tech structures here for Ragnarok that he needs to keep alive. Ooh, that's a lot of good snipes right there. There they are. Catching a good amount of those lurkers. Is it enough though? Because there's still a lot of Banelings here. The Zerglings as well, getting a good surround. A lot of them kind of busy trying to cuddle up with those Marauders. And Ragnarok will once again be able to turn the tide here. Push back the onslaught of Terran. But for how long is that going to be the case? Still a siege tank there on the high ground as well, actually. Did not even see that one. Looked like that is definitely quite a important unit right there with the 18 kills. Gonna get himself away as well. This base, Bunny needs it. Bunny desperately needs it. He's not having that much eco anymore. Ragnarok still mining on the top side. 2 bases right here. This base as well. Not that much minerals left, but definitely storm mining still going on. The bottom base also gonna start being taken by him. I wouldn't be upset if he tries to take this base on the 12 o'clock either. I think that wouldn't be too bad. Another attack coming in here by Bunny. On the top side, trying to get rid of these Zerglings as well. Bunny keeps these bases alive, and if he keeps denying this base in the bottom side, I mean, you're gonna have to give it to him, right? There's no way that Ragnarok is ever gonna be able to come back if he allows Bunny to stay at a similar amount of bases here. And it just really isn't. Units lost tab. Oh, that is going more and more heavily into the favor of the Terran player right now. With those ghosts, we have Ultralisk available, but they don't have the speed upgrade just quite yet. Parasitic Bomb forcing one of the medevacs to swear off and just barely keeping this medevac here alive. 3 HP. A very clutch maneuver there from the Red Terran. Let's see if he will be able to stop this Zerg Ball of Death, and just absolute devastation coming in here. That's a lot of SCVs ready to get the repair going on the Planetary Fortress. A last bastion of hope here for the Terran, perhaps. Will they be able to stop this Zerg wave? That's a lot of SCVs going down, in fact. My dear Lord, Bunny. He was looking good and all of a sudden just didn't have the forces anymore. GG is called. Ragnarok takes the game there in the end with his massive wave of the Ultralisk coming in there.